Hi everybody. This is Ahmed Belahdan. We keep going, interviewing things on Zoom now. Studio interviewing is hot, and we're gonna be starting doing that soon. But I've been lazy lately, and just intellectual laziness and. But things got me excited last week when that Netflix movie about Cleopatra, and everybody now kind of jumping on the wagon, talking about why a black actress is, is playing Cleopatra, and Egyptian are protesting, and this clown Basim Yusuf, whatever that guy is, he is on the run. He can't even go back to Egypt, and now he's talking about Egyptian heritage and Egyptian identity and ethnocentrism, and he just putting sentences on the top of each other, and of course the Western media give him that great platform to come and argue and fight with the director, and who is also an African American, and nothing like two brown or two black people fighting in the front of a white audience, and it's just a bizarre stuff. It's just a movie. And, I think Adele James is no more and no less authentically a Cleopatra than Elizabeth Taylor. I wonder where Bassem Youssef was when Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra and some other actor and actress. So, Cleopatra, she wasn't even an Egyptian. Some people say she was, a Greek, but from Persia descendants. And Cleopatra, the one she married her brothers and killed another one, and poisoned her lover and poisoned herself by letting a snake bite on her breast. That's what people say. And all you worry about her color of skin. This is really bizarre. And this is like we're looking at things, 3,000 or 4,000 years ago. Was race wasn't an issue. People were not categorized by the color of their skin, and there was influx of people coming to Egypt from Africa, from Asia, from Europe, from Arab, from Roman, Greeks, Ethiopians. I don't know why this is really a big issue that you have black actors playing Cleopatra, and so. I saw some posting for someone from Egypt, and I really like what he was posting, and he is an expert. He is study ancient Greek language and history, and so I had an interview with him, and we're gonna show you that interview very soon. And thanks God we're not talking to Dr. Hawass, another crook. I don't know what crooks are really now. They're having the platform to talk about history and values and things. So anyway, we'll talk with John Daniel. I'll show you the interview that I done yesterday with him. Some of your posting, reasonable, factual, and all of that. Let's just introduce you. John Daniel is a professor of ancient Greek language, literature. He's a writer, researcher, and also linguist. And he lives in Egypt in a dark room there. and then he kindly enough, gonna give us some time to shed some lights about this non-issue, or what that everybody is talking about it. and let's see the people who knows a little bit about it and to talk about it. Welcome, John. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the time. Tell us a little bit
My
about.
pleasure being here. My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Tell us a little bit about your background. I did not do a just to you. To you, I'm sure you've done work and you live in Egypt and you teach and all of that. It's just shed some lights so the audience know what we're talking about.
Well, actually, I teach classic Greek in American dialect or an American accent, Koine Greek, or in Greek, it's Kine Greek, which is Hellenistic Greek. It's the language that been around from the third century BC to the third century AD, which is not really like classic Greek. It's a bit different because it has been spoken by people that are not Greeks. Like some people call it Alexandrian Greek. No, it's not that right. But some people say that it is an Alexandrian Greek because the cultural capital of the world at that time was Alexandria and Pergamum, which is now in Turkey.
So how's it different than the so it's not the Greek that we know now that is dominantly in Greece now. It's a different
It
kind of.
is it is the same language, but languages develop all the time.
Yeah,
We can't. It's imagine the differences between the English of Shakespeare and the English nowadays,
yeah,
and double it by four times.
yeah.
Because Shakespeare is 500 years ago, we're talking about 2000 years ago. So
I see.
it is English, but it's not the same English.
Oh, of course, of course. Okay, you're probably following this issue of Cleopatra's skin color, and
Yeah.
a lot of people played Cleopatra. A lot of people played Anwar Sadat, historical figure. Different people, different. Elizabeth Taylor played Cleopatra, a white Western. Nobody talks about. Nobody really bothered by that, and I haven't heard anything from Bassem Youssef during that time. Why he wasn't uptight when Elizabeth Taylor, which just seems like Elizabeth Taylor is way, way far different than even African American. African American was,
Yes.
Egypt in Africa and mix. A lot of people came to Egypt from Ethiopia to Hyksos to Roman to Greeks, Turks. So it's the most diverse place in the Middle East. So why this is a hot issue now where people are really have better things to do?
Well, the problem is not the movie itself. The problem comes that this movie came right after a huge movement of what they called Afrocentrism. Uh, and I think many people know about it, but it says, or they claim that the Egyptian civilization was rooted and started in the sub-Saharan Africa, which is not true. And then when we come to a Greek queen ruling over Egypt, and you just show it as a black person, this is the problem. Uh, and the problem is not Cleopatra herself. I mean, the problem is you are doubting the whole Ptolemaic uh, dynasty or dynasty in American accent. Uh, so it's like it's really crazy for me. I mean, you're just saying that Alexander the Great didn't come to Egypt. He's not from Macedonia, Greece. He didn't has he didn't have his soldier Ptolemy as uh, a, a king of Egypt, and Ptolemy didn't have sons and daughters all over. And
John, Cleopatra was not an Egyptian.
she was not. She was not.
I mean, she's black, she's white, she's not Egyptian, but that has nothing to do with Egyptian identity or Egyptian history. Beside the, uh, I think if I misread you, maybe I misread you that in the Greek history, the Ptolemaic were also the mixed, not white. So it could be possibly a Greek darker skin. Was that possible?
The Ptolemy was a Greek from Macedonia, from
Mhm.
northern Greece,
Mhm.
and some people claim that some of them had intermarriage between the Persians.
Mhm.
Uh, but we don't know. We don't know exactly what happened. But for sure, they're not Africans. I mean, sub-Saharan Africans. We are Africans. Um, the problem is not the color or the color tone of Cleopatra herself,
Mhm.
but the problem is how can we say that the Egyptians, even not only the pharaohs or the ancient Egyptian civilization, but even the Greeks coming to Egypt, saying that they are coming from sub-Saharan Africa. This is, I mean, who can say that?
Well, history is, it's a very messy business,
History is his story, as the British say.
and just this is just a film. But I mean, when you look at the depiction on the wall, the ancient Egyptian depiction, some of those figures are blacks. They look like Somalis. I mean, some even Somalis they claim they are really, the ancient Egyptian, the pharaoh, all those are from the same origin. So this is not a done deal. I mean, there are a lot of stories, a lot of histories, and a lot of mixed things. Why aren't we so sure she's not African?
She is, if you are talking about Cleopatra, she's not Egyptian.
Yeah.
She's not an Egyptian. So I'm not. But if we are talking about the ancient civilization, the ancient Egyptian civilization, um, I mean, most of this civilization were rooted in Luxor and Aswan,
Yeah.
and we know that the people of Luxor and Aswan are not that. They don't have that
They're not.
light skin. I mean, so the problem is not the skin tone even.
I understand. A systemic or a constant effort to confuse the Egyptian identity. Well, we don't know who are Muslims, Arabs, pharaohs, Africans. So there is actual confusion going on in this time where people are looking for something to lash.
Well, I think this problem we have it years and years. We had this problem since the 20s of the 20th century.
Mhm.
Um, and our problem is that we have, or some people think that we have to choose between all or none. Like, uh, if we say that we are an Islamic country, then we are not, we don't have Christian minorities. If we say that we are Mediterraneans, then we don't have anything to do with Arabs. If we say that we are Arabs, we don't have to do anything with Africans. I mean, one of the good things about the Mediterranean culture, it's a mixed culture. Like, go to Greece and ask people who you are. Well, he will say the first answer, I'm Greek. But then I'm a European. I'm not a European. I'm a Balkan. I'm not a Balkan. I'm this is one of the characteristics of the Mediterraneans. Go to southern France and go to northern France and ask him who you are. Go to Morocco. Go to Tunisia, Syria. Well, I mean, well, Lebanon, and ask who you are. And you will have so many different answers. And because I don't know, I don't want to say because of what, but we we don't take this as an advantage, we take it as disadvantage. That's, I mean, on ground,
It's not privilege.
this, yeah, I mean, we have to take this as an advantage, this variety
Oh, I see.
of,
Oh, the multiculturalism and variety. I see.
yeah, people see it as a disadvantage and a way to struggle together. I mean, no, please, just take it as an advantage.
Mhm.
If I, with all of this uh, uh, historical diachronic multiculturalism, I mean, in America, for example, it's a synchronic multiculturalism.
America
But
is fairly a new country. It's still 2 3 years.
yeah, but I mean, I mean
Yeah, I know.
by synchronic that in the same time we have an African American and an Arab and Hispanics, white people. I mean, we have all of this at the same time. But nowadays, you cannot say who came from the Arabic Peninsula and who is really Egyptian and who came from Greek roots. And we are all now Egyptians. So diachronically, we had all of this multiculturalism, but nowadays we're all Egyptians. With it's like a pot that you put all of this together.
You know, when you walk in the street, you see all the diversity in Cairo, streets of Cairo, or whatever. You see a lot
Yeah,
of diversity, and it's not an issue at all. People get along. I remember growing up in Cairo, we have a corner by Ahmad Dir, a cafe where a lot of Somalis sit there and was nice, Sudanese, Yemenis, Lebanese, Palestinians. So Egypt knowing, I mean, yeah, of course, Cairo is a big city, cosmopolitan, but Egypt knowing for this diversity, and it was not an issue at all. Why now it is a huge issue? Well, if there is an Afrocentrism, that's their problem. That's what the why. Why does it bother you that the African want to be proud of their history? We,
well, I don't have a problem to be proud
we,
of their history, but the problem is that they want to claim that. I mean, the main claim of the Afrocentrism that the Egyptian civilization was originally a sub-Saharan civilization that been changed by the Romans. I mean, the Romans changed the colors of the people just to say that this is not true.
I mean, come on, that narrative, I mean, we've been, I mean, in Egypt, when you see how they represent the African, it is racist, it's
Mhm.
misrepresenting, it's we have a history of orientalizing the African and looking down on them in our literature, culture, and whatever I have, and
That's right.
I mean everybody think they are the center of whatever, but the reaction is it just disproportionately to just a film. When it comes to history, so many narratives.
No, that's right. That's right. But it's different that you have different narratives based on archaeological,
Yeah,
literal, or historical evidences, and this is I accept this. But when you just came to say something, I mean, without any evidences, you just claim it.
yeah.
You know, I don't have a problem if you have some evidences and you want to prove it. We can debate this. But if you just claiming this is my problem. I don't think it's a problem because in academic circles, Afrocentrism does not exist.
Yeah.
It's social media propaganda. Um, I wanted to write this when I wrote my post about it. I just wanted to write it just to say something from an academic point of view, but I don't think this is a problem. And I don't watch movies, especially history. I mean, American movies. that like having a historical uh,
Figure.
yeah, genre or something. I don't watch it because people actually, the problem that people take their historical information from movies. And we have this problem especially in the Middle East.
Yeah.
um, so I don't think this is a problem, but we just want to say that Egyptians are here and they don't accept this Afrocentrism.
So is Egypt an Africa?
It is.
Yeah. So what's
But,
African-centrism bother an African country? Is
well,
is she is
well,
part of it?
you, yeah, well, Afrocentrism is a sub-Saharan African movement.
Mhm.
Um,
Non-Arab.
well, I just say sub-Saharan because Sudan and Mauritania are Arabic countries, at least in the Arabic League, but they are sub-Saharan.
What do you do? So is there any reaction from your students?
About the Netflix thing,
Yeah.
not
Netflix things. It is Netflix things, to be honest with you.
it
Yeah.
is, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Um, no, I didn't have any reactions in class, at least. I mean, we didn't talk about it. We had some more academic issues to talk about than this social
More,
media propaganda.
more important things.
Yeah.
So, so who is your students? Who are they? Where they come from? Interest, academia, just uh, what?
Wow, my students coming from different backgrounds.
Mhm.
Most of them are Egyptians. I had some Syrians, Sudanese. Um, so they are interested in ancient Greek because ancient Greek has a lot to do with many studies. If you're studying philosophy, you need to know ancient Greek. If you're studying New Testament, like uh, the book of the Christians, you need to know ancient Greek. If you're studying history, you need to know ancient Greek.
It's overrated, huh?
There's nothing named the truth, actually.
Fiction. So why we are
well,
so
well, the
about
story is your perspective. Any story is yours.
yeah, yeah. It's the present telling the narrative of the history. So right, the history
Right.
is telling in the present sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's nothing named history if you're talking philosophy. There's nothing named history. History is who we are, how we see things, how we see the past.
Thank you, John. John Daniel is a professor of ancient Greek language, literature, and is a writer, researcher. My goodness, you have a lot of books. This yours, استمارة الموت, حكاية من بكرة. This yours?
Yes, all of these books are mine.
And written in Arabic?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. Can you get them on Kindle, or how do you get a hold of those?
Only Istinat al is on Kindle. I will send you the I wrote it for my wife's memorial.
And your wife is what? How did you meet that?
She died on 2019.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
this is a list of poetry that I wrote it for her.
Wonderful. I would love to hear that if there is a link, PDF.